talk about an issue that you pushed for this past session, and that's medical marijuana. A lot of people, especially when we're talking about pensions, just automatically say, just pass legalizing marijuana and then the problem will be fixed.
Right.
Obviously your bill was for medical marijuana and you were not going to tax it, but where are we at on that issue, and what can you tell people about the correlation between those two topics?
Yeah, there's really not a correlation between the topics, only if you demagogue the issue. And I'm trying to get the information out that, look, we don't want to tax medical marijuana, because if you do, you get the money on the back of sick people. That's not what we want in Kentucky. We've made the decision not to tax pharmaceuticals, and so we don't need to be taxing medical marijuana when we pass it, hopefully this next year. So it won't help the pension system. It'll have more employees, and those employees will be paying income tax. So it'll bring some money into the system in that way, but not in any way to make even a dent on a whisker of the pension problem. So that the issues are just very different. Where are we on passing medical marijuana? We're very close. We have the votes in both chambers. We had, at the time that we adjourned sine die this past session, we had 53 co-sponsors in the House, including the Speaker of the House and a number of other members of leadership, majority and minority. And so we got a majority of leadership and majority minority party. And we have 64 people have looked me in the eye and said that they will vote for it. I wrote their name down in pen, and so we have a super majority in the House. In the Senate, we're starting to work on the Senate a little bit more. Senate leadership has said that it's not something they're ready for yet. And so I'm scheduling meetings with them to try to get them the information they need to support the bill, or at least allow it to be called, where a majority of the members in the Senate, I think, are for it. But it's also important to say Kentuckians are clamoring for it. They were for it in significant ways. There was a poll that came out this week that said over 3/5 of likely Republican primary voters are for it. That's arguably the cohort of voters who are going to be least likely for it. That's the lowest number of any poll I've seen. All the polls I've seen are in the 70s or 80s. And so Kentucky, this issue's been decided. 34 states have it, and an overwhelming majority of Kentuckians want it. It's time to let the doctor decide how they want to treat the patient.